Who visionary parents, how are you doing today? It is time for our Tuesday live, and today is all about parenting audits. Now, let me tell you a story. I remember one time I went for a family function, and there was this extended family member that was there, and the child, and she said something, and the child just raised his voice and yelled at him. As usual, everybody will stand to start talking. You are mannerless. Everybody was blaming him and was fighting him because he was already a teenager. Everybody was blaming and fighting him, and the mom just sat quietly, as if she was embarrassed and all of that. One of the things I found out was that is exactly the system they operate in their home. That was exactly how the mom spoke to him, and so he learnt it from that. And so when it was his time now to respond like that, everybody blamed him. I get questions every day, I get complaints every day, and one of the things I tell parents that they don't always agree with is that, do you audit your home? Do you check your home? Because many of these things, they are not just from nowhere, they are from somewhere. My children, they attend this particular school, and every time they come, the school is supposed to be big on discipline. So every time they will say, oh, the teachers say something like shut up is against the school principle, is against the school policy. So children, when they say things like shut up and get out, the children are disciplined for it. Yet at the end of the day, when they come back to tell me, they will tell me how the teacher said shut up, how the teacher said get out to them. When they come back to tell me, they will tell me how the teacher said shut up, how the teacher said... Sorry, I wanted to be sure that the audio is good. We've suffered audio recently. How the teachers angrily will say shut up, the teachers will angrily say get out. Now these same teachers will come and punish the children for saying the same thing. One of the things we need to do, especially as we are entering the new year as parents, is we need to sit down and audit our parenting. Because the truth of the matter is, whatever we expect from our children, but not even just our expectations now or our complaints, if you are a parent, you have a vision. You need to be super sure you have everything in place to realize that vision for you, because the vision will not just come and realize itself. Your children will not become that person you pray for them to become, because you have it as a vision. So you need to audit your parenting. Now, by auditing your parenting, I mean you need to sit back and reflect. Check out your parenting. Audit your parenting. Find out the patterns you are allowing. A while ago, I saw a video on Facebook where a little boy was hitting a girl. The caption is, see what my son is doing to my nanny. They did not put the best nanny ever. So the boy, a toddler, was hitting the girl, asking the girl for her phone, and was hitting the girl. And after a while, the girl gave the boy the phone, and then the boy collected the phone, and the girl was hitting the phone. The giving the boy the phone and even allowing the boy to hit the girl, they are not just something that the boy just learned from one day. They are patterns that are being encouraged in the home. I know the truth of the matter. Very many times as parents, we do not intend to encourage certain patterns because we do not want them, but we do them. We do them without realizing it. Let me explain in this way. For example, I don't know any parent who actually wants to raise children who tell lies. I don't know any parent who will be proud to say, oh, my children tell lies. They don't like it. But if your home is not such that encourages integrity, encourages your child to be honest, your child will tell lies. So you look at, why do children tell lies? You want to say that they are listening to you. Do you tell lies in a little ways, things you do? You feel, oh, they are not big deals. They are big deals because your child is learning. Another thing is, you may have an environment where you are very dramatic, where you are very, dramatic in your reactions. So you want to say, okay, because they don't want this drama, they now learn how to cope, how not to get the drama from you. They will learn to tell lies. Now remember, you don't want to raise children who tell lies. You don't want to tell lies, your children to tell lies in any way. But your family system, the atmosphere you have created, is actually nurturing that thing you do not want. Now this is why, before you even go and start labeling your child, before you go and start condemning, before you go and even start talking to your child, or oh, my child is misbehaving, you need to first of all audit your parenting. Audit your parenting. I have used this example over and over again, and I will still use it. I have never seen parents who enjoy the children fighting, who say, oh, I love it when the children, my children fight. No parent wants that. But children fight every day and parents complain. You want to look at it. What is in my environment that actually makes my children fight? That is auditing. I always say to parents, when my children were much younger, I tried so hard, because one of the visions I've always had for my family, for my children, is to have children who are bonded, who are united. And I know that is kind of coming from a place of my own personal baggage. So I want to raise children who will be able to be there for each other, who will truly love each other. And from when they were small, I deliberately put system in place that will help them minimize clash. I've shared this before. When they were much younger, I used to buy different things for them. You would never see me say, okay, everyone had a cup, everyone had their own spoon, everyone had that, because that was a major conflict, a major source of conflict. Even to watch TV, one person, because I have a girl and I have 2 boys, and my boys will not want to watch. They say my daughter always watches girls things, and my daughter will be like, my boys always watches things that they are fighting, they are doing a lot of activities, energy, all those energetic things. She doesn't like that. She wants things that are really feminine. Even till now, you see her play with teddies. She's 12. You see her play with teddies. You see her doing all those girly things. While my boys, naturally they like all those maybe shows that are games that are high energy. So what did I do? I decided that, okay, we are going to have a roster. This roster for TV. You choose your TV day. You choose your TV day. You choose your TV day. Then you cannot negotiate. All those were things that I deliberately put in place to make sure conflict, they were not always conflicting. It was greatly minimal. So even till now, we still have rules in place. So when I say to a parent, it is not in the one thing you do, it is the structure you put in place right from time. So these structures have helped me achieve a great deal, a lot of my parenting visions. Because when I say my kids have never fought, for example, parents look at me like, are you kidding me? They have never fought. In fact, I always tell them that the day you will fight is the day you will see that I can flog. They have never fought because of those structures I have always put in place. I'd rather have them bond, have them play, have them share, But of course, they are grown now. I have a 14-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, I have a 9-year-old. What do I do? Now I know that they have moved from that level of being impulsive. Now they are able to reason more. So we no longer do share or take your turns. We now do okay, because as we put that in place in those days of share, that's because of the age they were, the phase they were. As we put that structure in place, we're also teaching them. Now that they're in an age they are able to reason more, so we now have common items, even toothpaste. We used to have, every bathroom has their own toothpaste, but now we have one toothpaste in the entire house. So even if I buy 10, I keep the remaining 9. I bring one out. They use body oil. We have one bottle of body oil because they need to know how to share. They need to know how to what to do and all of that. So everything now we now have one thing everybody uses most times, compared to when they were much younger. So what am I trying to say? So if you have your vision, you know what you want from your parenting, then you know the structures and the plans to put in place. So when you have complaints about your children, when you have things you are not comfortable with, one of the first things you want to do is to sit back and audit your parenting. What am I doing that is promoting this thing I do not like? What is happening in my home? It may not even be what you are doing particularly. It may just be the atmosphere, what is happening around your house. It may be even the movies they are watching, how it's influencing them. It may even be their friends around, what they are saying. It may even be what you are doing in your house that you do not realize it. There was a video that went viral about a couple of days ago. I think I've talked about it in my previous video, where the boy was yelling at his mom, that you don't pay school fees and all of that. And he was telling his mom, I don't blame you. Everybody was condemning the boy. I said one of the things I've come to realize is that I know for the fact that the boy's attitude may have been influenced by his father's attitude toward his mother. I don't know their background story, but I can bet on that 100% that that is the case. That's how the boy's father speaks to the mother, talks down on the mother, tell the mother that she's probably useless, she doesn't have anything to bring to the table. So the boy learns it from that. However, I also said that I know that as the boy grows older, the boy is going to realize, he's going to now realize that, okay, my mom was really contributing, because he may not be able to reason and see it now, but as he grows older, he understands better. He's going to see the truth. That is the truth of the matter. But one thing, the boy, he may see the truth and even come to apologize to his mom. Oh, I'm sorry, I because I was not smart enough, I was young, I did not understand everything. Truth of the matter. But one thing that may never leave the boy may never outgrow, is the mindset of money. Because now his relationship with his mother is influenced by money. What do you bring? You don't pay our school fees, you don't do this for us, you don't do that for us. So every other thing the mother does is not valid as long as the mother is not paying the school fees. So the boy is attaching money, importance, value, or anything to money. So money is even more important than the mother. Money is more important than human being, his mother. So the boy will now grow up with that mindset, and someone will say, how did we get here? Why can someone open his two eyes and do something like this because of money? How did we get here? Now this is it. It's not something we want, but it's the result we'll get from a lot of the things we have, a lot of the seeds we have planted. Now this is why we always need to audit our parenting. From time to time, as a parent, you need to sit down and make sure that what you are putting in will yield the fruits you want to get. You need to make sure that you are putting in exactly what you want to put in. You need to make sure that you are not random, you are not spontaneous, you are not on autopilot. You are actually putting in what you want to put in. That is what we talk about when we talk about parenting audits. My name is Edinia Orebo, and this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy, an academy where parents are empowered. We are empowered to raise the children that God has given us, to raise them to become human beings the world will thank us for. Not human beings the world will curse us for, but human beings the world will thank us for. Today I shared a video when I saw the story of Kata Efe's baby mama, talking about how this is a person that doesn't allow me to do anything. I was saying that one of the mindsets we have nurtured in our children for a very long time, and we have raised from generation to generation, is the mindset of money. Life is about money. Money makes the world go round. So everything about you has to be about money. I say that is why we have Yahoo, because it's all about money. That is why we have Hook, because it's all about money. That is why you hear women will say, if my husband agrees to be paying me salary, I will sit down, I will not do any work. It is about money. That is why the girl will say, oh, he has never wanted me to do anything because he can provide me the money. He can buy me whatever I want. So why do I need to do anything? We do not remember impact. We don't remember that we have ideas. We are supposed to be creative human beings. We have brains. We have a lot we can contribute to the society. We don't remember that we have a role to play. So let's get out there and play the role. It's just all about money. Oh, the boy can give me money. So why do I need to stress myself? And then she's coming out to say, this is someone that doesn't allow me to do anything, So we want to raise children who are making impact, children who know that, they have a purpose of being on earth. So outside making money, outside pleasing someone, living their life around people, and around someone, in the case of Kata Efe's baby mama, we have a purpose, a mission, a goal to contribute to the society. That is what we achieve in the Visionary Parents Academy. I did not say that is what we intend to achieve. That is what we achieve, because that is the result we are getting. Children who have sense, who can think for themselves. So I want to encourage you, if you are not a member of the Visionary Parents Academy and you are hearing my voice, I think this is a signal for you to join the Visionary Parents Academy. Our registration for 2026 rather is still open, and our fee is 84,000 naira. All you need to do is make a commitment and spread the remaining one till the end of the first quarter of the year. So you can join us. We have started already, and this is one of the first exercises we are carrying out, parenting audit. We want to audit our parenting so that we know our complaints, what are the things we are complaining about. So by the time we audit our parenting, we know how to put structures in place to fix that what we complain about. Now, even if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, what you can do is just get your writing materials, join us in this channel, follow us. I tell you, we have a lot to share with you. We have shared a lot with you over the years, and you are going to be super empowered. Okay, let's look at, I actually have a couple of this parenting audit is in series, and if you are a visionary parent, you already have this. Sorry, I'm talking too fast now because I'm a bit under the weather. So if I feel pressured, I talk super fast. So I'll try to calm down, and I beg you to bear with me. So this parenting audit, if you're in the Visionary Parent Academy, you already have it, and you agree with me that okay, you have it, and you have the other section, where you are going to check out, because the audit, how many items did you audit here? We have 14. I'm seeing 14. I'm seeing 16. I'm seeing 18. I'm seeing 20, 21, 22. Yes, we audited 22 different aspects of our parenting. So what I want to do with this class now is I'm just going to take them one by one. Some of these areas we audited, we actually have worksheets under to help you track it. So if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, you want this material, you can reach out. Maybe you just pay a token and you have it, Maybe you pay a token and you have it, because the material that will greatly impact your parenting. So let's go on. One of the first areas we audited in using this material is our environment. How nurturing is your environment? Because we realize that these things don't happen by accident. They don't happen because you desire them. They happen because you create them. And for you to create them, you actually have to know the problem. There's a lady I listen to in Dang Ife of Dang Life. I think she's the owner of Dang Beauty Product or something. So she was talking about how one time she wanted to, she realized how vitamin C works very well for her skin, and so she wanted to launch it in her market, and how she now went ahead to create the particular product using her skin type. Unfortunately, very many people complained about the product. People who had dry skin, or I think she had oily skin. People who had dry skin complained. That actually took her back to the factory for her to reproduce the ones that was suitable for everybody. So why am I sharing this? Auditing will help you take you back to the drawing board, because when you know exactly what the problems are, it becomes easier for you to fix the problem. Now, because she knew what the problem was, because people were complaining, it was easier for her to fix the problem. That is what we intend to achieve with audit. So every area of this audit is here to help you think, help you realize what the issues are in your parenting. So the first one is a nurturing home. When we talk about nurturing home, we want to talk about how does the atmosphere in your home make your children feel emotionally. I remember one time, when I was in Lagos, there was my neighbor. She had a teenager. She was eager to go into the university, and she was talking about she can't wait to go. One day we got talking, and she's not like, she wants to go because her mommy's wahala, her parents' wahala were too much. She just wanted to leave the house. I have seen teenagers talk about this very many times. I also remember back then I had one teenager who was cohabiting with a boy. So when I got to know about this, I was asking her, why did she leave her family house to come be cohabiting with a boy? And she said her house was too chaotic for her. Her parents were always on her case. Just, I know that teenagers, they can complain about everything, especially when they don't have the right mindset, especially when they don't realize that, in the Visionary Parents Academy, was it today or yesterday, I talked about the need for us to concentrate on reaching the heart of our children. When you reach the heart of our children, when they understand that their life is for them, their life is about them, they own their life, their choices, their consequences, everything is about them. When they realize that, it is easy for them to be tolerant, it's easy for them to be patient, it's easy for them to be accepting, it's easy for them to just be on the same page with you. But when they haven't reached that realization, I tell you something, they will always believe you are there to torment them. You are there to just, they will believe you are the problem. They are not the problem. They will not realize that what you are doing is for their own good. Yes, I was telling a parent that is one of the things you need to concentrate on. Help, not forcing your child, but letting your child see, it is his life. Everything you are doing or you want him to do, everything is for his own good, So the teenager said to me that her house was very chaotic. Her parents were always on her. So for that reason, she left her house and she came to cohabit with a boy. So the question now is, how is the emotional state in your home? Do your children actually feel safe to come to the house? When children are younger, much younger, yes, they want to cling to you, they want to follow you everywhere. But as they get older, they become independent. If it's not safe for them, they will not want it. I was talking to someone a while ago. I was telling the person that I don't like anything that stresses me mentally. I always like to be safe mentally. So because of that, I create a boundary around my mental state. Whoever you are, if you are a torture to my mental state, I also teach this when we teach emotional intelligence in the Visionary Parents Academy. Whatever it is, I fight your mental state, because at the end of the day, it is going to pressure you, and that pressure is not going to trickle, it's going to come over, affect your children. Except that thing is something like, it is something like you cannot cut away from it. Let's say your work is pressuring you now, you have to find a way to manage it. Otherwise, if it's something that is pressuring you that you cannot manage, you just cut it off. That is how you can manage. So I always tell parents that check out social media. If there are people you follow, they give you headache. Every time I just pick my phone, I want to reply a certain message, I will just see myself. Sometimes after typing, I'll just delete and move away. So anything that disturbs your mental health, so the same thing as teenager, if your home disturbs their mental health, I tell you, they are not going to find it funny. So how safe are they at home? What is the emotional state of your home? Is your home always chaotic? Are you always correcting? Are you always yelling? Are you always condemning? Are you always, should I say, blaming? Do you respect them? Do you respect them? Does it always have to be forced? Are you always threatening them? Even amongst their siblings, are they always fighting? Are they always unhappy? I know very many children, they are happier outside than they are in the house. When you're outside, you see them smiling. When they get home, you see them frowning, So you want to check the emotional state of your home. My children, do they feel safe expressing their feelings around you? Some of the ways to check their emotional state. Do they feel safe expressing their feelings around you? How do you speak to one another in your home? Is it with kindness, with respect, or with force, with yelling? We see that happen every day. Some homes, they don't talk respectfully. Everything is sarcasm. Everything is yelling. Everything is just like insults. Sarcasm. I don't really get it. Are you deaf? Is it not you mommy is calling? So I always wonder, what is the are you deaf doing inside the matter? Like one thing my daughter does is when she will say, maybe she did it this morning too. Okay, yesterday my older son was outside, generator noise was just banging everywhere. I was calling, she was helping me call the brother, and she now said, he's there, he's hearing, he's not answering. So I had to ask her, can you hear the generator noise? She said yes. So how is it easy for you to hear when there is noise around you? So you just don't sit and assume. If you are calling him, he's not answering, it means you have to go there and meet him and not just assume. You know, so in many homes it's always chaotic. Everything is always fight. Children fight more than they make love. No, if your home is always like that, know that your emotional environment is not healthy. Children, conflict, how do they resolve conflict? Always shouting, always fighting. That is how they resolve conflict. It could be that you have modeled that to them, you have not allowed them to be matured in conflict resolution, or you have not taught them, or you just need to be patient teaching them while you have your structure in place. You know, have forgiveness. I must do my own back. What? You know. And another one, when we talk about emotional atmosphere, do you create moments for families to be happy together? Do you have shared moments? Do you have traditions that promote peace, harmony, happiness? Like in the Visionary Parents Academy, we have our bonding time. You know, every weekend we want to deliberately take out time to bond with our children. It is why you set your time. Except maybe you operate a business that requires you to go to work on Saturday, you can make it on Sunday. So I always say to parents that if you have a business that requires you to go to work every day of the week, take one day of the week. So if that work requires you to go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on Sunday you have to minimize your meetings. Even when it's short meetings, you have to minimize it. I was in church on Sunday. They said we have a program in another town, in another city, in Asaba actually, that we should come and prepare. Women should come for rehearsals and all of that. I simply told them, you know, I just jokingly told them that I'm not a woman, though, so I cannot go with you. So they were asking me, if you're not a woman, what are you? I said, well, I'm still a teenager. You know, I was just laughing because my kids go to school every day. I'm busy every day. That Sunday, we already have our programs, like, okay, our family time. On Sundays, we have our family time. So I cannot leave our family time and I will journey to another city altogether. Then I will now come back and leave only them. Who knows? And we are not even going to come back on that day. We are going to come back the following day. No. But other things, I have to look for a way to balance it, because when you have family time, it's a time where everybody is happy, laughing, gisting together. One of the things we want to do as parents is to deliberately create more time for happy moments, joyous moments where children are happy together. Create more time, you know, let those time eat into conflict time, all the conflict time. So that is it. So is your environment safe? Is it healthy? Is it emotionally healthy for your children? When we talk about environment and physical, your emotional environment, what about your physical environment? How is your home generally? Is it tidied? Is it disorganized? You know, do your children have dedicated space for reading? Okay, do you have a structure? It's time for us to study. Do we have that? Or we are such a parent, like my dad used to do, you enter the house anytime you enter the house, you expect your child to be reading. If your child is not reading, is war. Is that the kind of home you operate? If that's the kind of home you operate, your home will be chaotic. And I tell you, your child will not like it. Or you are the kind of parent, your child is watching a television program, they are just having fun, you just tell them, yeah, go and pick your book and read. I always say to parents, one of the reasons children don't love to read, children are not into book, is because there's no assigned time to read. There's no space and time to read. So you just, reading is random. You know, your child can just be having fun. So you have to go and pick your book and read. Play. All you know how to do is play. You are not reading your book. And I tell you something, that book has come in the way of your child reading, of your child's playing. Playing is fun. So just like you as an adult, you don't like anything that comes in the way of your enjoyment, of your fun. That thing becomes an enemy, a killjoy. The same thing, your child, we don't like anything that comes in the way of their fun. That thing also will become a killjoy, just like it does to you. So if you are such a parent, you actually want to know that, hey, you are not helping your child, you are not creating the right environment. Now, is your environment overstimulating? That's another thing we need to look at. Overstimulating. Children are, because when parents with toddlers, they always want to engage their children with gadgets. Even in church, you see them, the children are playing with gadgets so that the parents are not distracted. I tell you, there are very many other things your children can do to engage themselves. I have a door behind me here. So if I open that door, you are going to see a lot of things on the floor. I have a child as old as 14 years. We still use those things to play. Cartons, board, all sorts of manners of things. We still use them to play, So I just showed you some. So when parents talk about, oh, if I don't give my children gadgets, they'll be disturbing me, what can they do? You have to make your home a learning environment. You have to create your home in such a manner that, see, when your children see things, they are thinking, what can I do with it? Each time I get cat on my children, the first they'll say, oh, mommy, this is mine. Mommy, this is mine. Without even thinking of what they will do with it, they have divided it amongst themselves. Someone has chosen it. That is one thing that will help your children a great deal. So if your children are overstimulated, noise, screen, you are rest assured that it will affect them in such a manner that it can make them overreactive. It can make them easily distracted. It can make them to quickly forget things when they are overstimulated, and that will also increase the chaos in the home. Is your home welcoming or peaceful? Is your home welcoming and peaceful, or your home is such a manner that once you just get back from church, or once you just get back from school, or once they get in, the first thing is chaos? You don't pause, you don't think. The first thing is just to react, to find their faults, to find what is wrong with them, and you are responding to it. You are teaching them, you are correcting them, you are yelling, you are disciplining them. Not disciplining them as in disciplining them as in shouting, threatening. That is actually even if you want to correct them, you want to discipline them. I always say to parents in the Visionary Parents Academy, when we pick our children from school, not necessarily school, when we unite with our children after a break, the first thing we want to do is to connect with them. The first thing we want to do is, because children go out every day, and I tell you, when they go out every day, they meet a lot of. Yesterday I went out to town. I wanted to buy something. These knobs for burner, cooking burner. The guy I called said one is 3.5. I said 3.5 for one. I have 6. That's about 21,000. And that's too much now. Not even 3,000. Not even 2.5. The guy said no, it's 3.5. And I said it's too much. Let me go and buy by myself. That was how I drove for a very long time. I didn't get it to buy. And I was feeling very sick. At some point, I needed to use the restroom. I had to go to a Zenith Bank to use the restroom. I came back. I was super sick. So when I went to the market, I got there. I just told the woman that, Madam, I'm not feeling well. So the woman had to give me a mat. Thank God she's a young lady. She's my customer. She gave me a mat. Her neighbor had not resumed. So she had to open her neighbor's space for me. I used the mat there to rest myself for over an hour. Me that planned that I'll drop my kids off at school. I had this to do, and then I'll go back and pick them. Guess what happened? I spent the entire day there resting before I eventually I did not come back home to pick my kids. I just went from there to pick my kids, That was all that I went through. So they even told me, madam, buy Sprite and put salt inside. I had to do that. So imagine all my experience of yesterday. Your children, they may not go through all those big experiences, but they also go through a lot of experiences every day. They go to school, maybe my son will say, mommy, I raised up my hand like 10 times, they only called me 2 times. Sometimes they feel bad about it. Oh, I know this answer, I know this answer, I know this answer. Teacher doesn't call them, oh, they feel bad. That's one thing. Then they will have a classmate who is bullying them. They feel bad. You know, maybe their water is not as cold as they wanted it. The water, it becomes hot, they feel bad. They open their food, it doesn't look good, they feel bad. Or they want to carry their bag, it's heavy, they feel bad. They can't find the note they put in their bag, they feel bad. You know, there are so many things they actually go through every single day, not just at school, in church, when they go out, even when they leave them. The other day I went to church. It was in the evening. I left about past 4 to 5. You know, I just told my children, okay, I'll come now. When I got to church, it was a long program. It was already after 8. They were after 7. It was to 7. They were worried. So they were already calling me on the phone. I did not take my call. So they were planning to come and look for me. They were already set to come and look for me in church. So they were worried, especially because my phone was not connecting. You know, so children also go through things every day like we go through. So when they now come back, or when we reunite with them, they actually want to feel safe. They need that safe space to be able to say, you know, thank God I'm home. Even when they don't go through. Are you not in Nigeria? See the sun outside. Jeez. My son was asking me that day, mommy, if Kuwait is the hottest country in the world, like he read somewhere. So I don't understand. Does it mean it's hotter than Nigeria? If Kuwait is the hottest place in the world, it means it's hotter than Nigeria. So me, I'm just wondering how the people there are coping, though. You know? So they also go through these things every single day that we go through. So when we reunite with them, we want to make sure that, okay, we're actually making them feel safe. So is your home welcoming? Is your home peaceful? Is your home child-friendly? Or your home is always chaotic? There's always drama. Someone is always yelling. Someone literally walks on eggshell because the parents are home. So they are careful. They are mindful of what to do because the parents are at home. Is that the case? You want to sit back and check that in your environment. I know that for very many people, mothers are usually like, okay, the soft love. But the fathers, when the fathers are around, children are almost walking on eggshell. You also want to check that. Okay, let's go. How is the spiritual atmosphere in your home? How is the spiritual atmosphere? Do you pray together as a family? Do you read the Bible together weekly or daily? Do you encourage gratitude, kindness as a family value? Do your children see you model faith in real and practical ways? Do you maintain calm, hopefulness, honoring God in your atmosphere? You know, relational environment. How do you relate to each other in your environment? These are some of the things you actually need to look at. Like I said, the Visionary Parent Academy, you have this material already. I think it was the first material you shared. And if you have not joined the resource bank, please click the link that was shared with you the other day. Click the link and join the resource bank, because not only the resources you have there, you realize that we have a lot. In fact, I already shared over 100 resources in the bank already. Unfortunately, very many of them did not download, so I had to delete them. And because they are not an emergency, we don't need them now. I will take my time later to upload them. So if you have not clicked on the link where we have our resources, please go to the link where we have our resources. You can even begin to feed your eyes, read, skim through, watch, listen, and all of that while the class is going. And if you have any questions, don't always hesitate to come to class. Even when we have not treated a topic, just bring it in the class, and we are going to be happy to take it together. Okay, so how do you relate with your siblings, what is relationship in your home? Like I said a while ago, are you a parent that you're always threatening? How do you relate? One of the things I realize is that very many times, what we do, we threaten our children. If you don't do this, you will get this will happen. If you don't do this, this will happen. That's what we do very many times. Even when we want to communicate with them, even when we want to tell them something, we are always looking for a way to infuse threat inside. And I don't think, no. It's really not something we should be doing as parents. Instead of you to threaten your child, always sell the benefits of whatever expectations is to them. That is how you can reach the heart. If you're in the Visionary Parent Academy, you know what I mean by reaching the heart of your child. Okay. Do you have regular family conversations or talk times like we do in the Visionary Parent Academy? Do you engage in one-on-one time with your child like we do in the Visionary Parent Academy? Remember I talked about this. One-on-one time. Create a one-on-one time. It's amongst your family traditions. Every child, either once a month or once a month, however you can do it. Take one child, you can go out together, you can just be with one child, sharing space with one child, together. Then create shared memories with your children. Like one of the things we talked about is we have family dinner, fine dinner, proper dinner with our children where they get to eat properly. We can even learn a few things. We can have maybe English dinner or English breakfast. Just put all these things, so teach them. Because I always say we are raising global champions. So all these small things, you can just have a conversation day where they all gather, you have a topic, you are talking about it together. Public speaking, just do something. If they are not meant to pressure, they are moments you are having, they are meant to be fun, jokes, comedy nights, anything. Have special moments with your children. These things actually promote bond in your homes. Do you celebrate milestones? Deliberately celebrate milestones. How do your children treat each other? Respectfully. Do you have things like communication rules? Do you have things like respect, maybe respect for boundaries and things like that? You should consider this in your home. In the Visionary Parent Academy, we are going to talk about all of this. We are going to talk further about all of this. Now let's go. We are talking about digital environment. How is your digital environment? Your children, they just have access to gadgets and they can just use it. Yesterday, I was somewhere, I was telling the person that we had talked on WhatsApp previously. So all our discussions, conversations, I saved them on the WhatsApp. Unfortunately, my WhatsApp just deactivated itself. And the man was looking at me. I was not telling him that if not that my children don't use my phone, I would have thought maybe they were the one that deactivated it. And he said to me, he was going to ask me if my children use my phone. And I said, no, they don't use my phone. They have no business using my phone because they are not old enough to use phones. So they don't use my phone. The only time you see them using my phone, maybe there's no light or they need a touch light, I give them my phone to use. Or maybe there's a call or they have a class, I give them my phone to use. But say they will just sit down, go pick my phone and be using it, is a no. And I've sat my children and I've told them why. Even television, they know that the only time we watch television is during the weekends. And why? Because Friday is our news day. Like I shared also, we have it in this we have it in there's a material I shared. I think it's this material. We have it. Friday is our news day, Saturday is our research day, and Sunday is our bonding day. So Friday we use our television to listen to news, to watch news all over. Then on Saturday we use our television to research about things or help them grow. While on Sunday we use our television to bond, watch a movie together as a family. But during the holidays, of course, they can watch television from I think between 2 to 4 hours during the holidays. Yes, that's their time. I think from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So they have their TV time, free time, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So that time they can decide to 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 3 hours. So they can decide to do anything they like, watch television, play games, do everything they like, during that time. So we have rules and regulations when it comes to gadgets, when it comes to digital environment. So you create that. Now I see a lot of time parents complaining, their children use gadgets too much, my son is addicted. When you have not created an atmosphere that that supports how you want gadget to be used, I tell you, your child definitely will be addicted. Like the video I saw today, where the little boy was beating the nanny because he wanted the nanny's phone. It is because of the environment we have created for gadget use that the boy is doing what the boy is doing. Okay, we've talked about spiritual atmosphere, we've talked about relational atmosphere, we've talked about digital environment, we've talked about learning and growth. That's what we are talking about. I've shared this a while ago, I'll share it again. Learning. How does your home encourage learning? I see very many parents, they complain that their children do not read. Their children do not love to read. Now, I just shared something ago. Your children do not love to read. How do your children see reading? What environment have you created? What do they think of reading? That is it. Do they think of reading as killjoy? Do they think of reading as things that disturb them? How do they think of reading? Because it is the way they think of reading that will determine if they will love to read or not. If you are just joining, please go back and see that particular part of the video I shared, where I talked about you just walking in and telling your child to go and read, So, and then I also see a great deal, parents say their children don't love to read. I always ask them, how many books have you bought for your children? I remember one time, there were these children in my church that one of the girls became like, she loved coming to my house and she'd come and borrow one book and go. So one day, I think they were going to clean the church on a Saturday morning or something like that. I don't remember. The older siblings, they were going, so the boy joined them. I think it was 11 then. So the 4 of them came to my house. So the older sibling, the girl, is already in the university. So she was telling me about dating and relationship. So I now told them that this discussion is not okay for the 11-year-old. So I sent the 11-year-old upstairs to meet my siblings, my children. So my children, I don't remember what they were doing. So when he got there, he was reading. He saw books there. He now picked books and was reading. So when they got back down, and so when it was time to go, one of the siblings now went there and came back to say, he's reading. Oh, what happened? So they got home and told their mom. Their mom and their father, they came to know my house. Like, they were not saying that, their mommy said they should just send the boy to come and be living with me. The boy doesn't read. He doesn't pick a book to read at all. Reading is not his thing. Coming to my house and picking a book and reading is first in history. So they were surprised. So and my question was that, do you have books? The only book he has are his textbooks that he buys from school. And what do you not expect him to read? They will become boring. It's a normal thing. If you eat a bar every single day of your life, it will tire you. The same thing. I know textbooks are written as work, as chore. They are not written in such a way that children will enjoy reading them. And most times children are not prepared. The foundation is not laid for them to start enjoying reading textbook, because from time going to school is chore. Reading textbooks, reading books, school books are chores right from time. If you look at it, Now this was when a parent asked in the Visionary Parents Tribe the other day if her child could read certain books that she wanted us to suggest certain books for her child to read, 11 years. So after suggesting, she kept asking again, can this child read this book? I told her one thing, when it comes to parenting, there is nothing like yes or no. That's something I've come to realize. If somebody says, if I do this thing, will my children stop doing this? It's not a yes or no. Because it is the foundation you have laid that the children will behave, that will influence their behavior. Let me give you a practical example. Yesterday I went somewhere. I saw this book by Ben Carson, Take the Risk by Ben Carson. So I bought it, 4,000 naira. I brought it home. As soon as my daughter saw that book, she picked that book and said, Mommy, I'm going to read this. This book is for me. Before I went to bed, she came, she kissed me here. Mommy, thank you for buying this book for me. I did not buy the book for her. I don't even know if the book is for teenagers or it's for adults. I don't even know, But because my kids, she took it because the other brother did not see it. If the 14-year-old brother has seen it, that one too would have taken the book. Both of them, because they have a goal to read 14 books this year. And according to them, they have read all the books in the house. So they are looking for new books. So any book that is new we get in, they are going to start counting it now. They have 4 books. They have 4 books. So I already told them that you are reading these 4 books. You are reading these four books. So we have 10 more books to go. So if I can get 10 more books now, I am good to go. I won't bother myself. You know. So it is because, one, she knows who Ben Carson is. We have researched about her. We have quite a number of his books. We have Think Big, The Big Picture, You Have a Brain, The Gifted Hands. We have a couple of his books like that because she likes Ben Carson, you know, and because she has a goal to read 14 books, and because she is already reading, she's reading a book currently, why we act the way we act, by Tim Lahalaye, something like that, you know. We already have these things. So because that foundation is there, that reading foundation is there, so it is easy for her to say, okay, I see this book, I want to read. So if the foundation is there, if she reads it tomorrow and she enjoys it, she's 12, she just turned 12 January 4th. So if somebody asks me, can a 12-year-old read this book, I will not be able to say yes or no, because I know that a 12-year-old who does not enjoy reading, who has never been encouraged to read, will not enjoy it at all. Will not, even if they want to read, they will rather want to read something like Wimpy Kid, or Diary of a Dog, or The Dog's Diary, or those story books of primary 1, primary 2. They want to read that because that's how I recommend parents to start. No matter the level no matter the age your child is. If your child is someone that doesn't like reading, that has never read before, that don't enjoy reading, you should start with those small books, so it will help them fall in love with reading. As time goes on, you start introducing them to other books. So you get what I'm saying? So we all want our children to read, not just because we want them to pass exam, but because we want them to grow mentally. And also, like I always say, reading can also serve as a major distraction in times of distraction. When everyone is distracted, reading can also just take them to a corner and just keep them busy when distraction is all that the world has to offer them. So your home, does it encourage reading, asking questions and exploring? Do you support children building their skills? Your conversations, does it promote wisdom, critical thinking, or critical thinking? Do you expose your children to new experiences monthly? Does your home motivate everyone to grow, not just your children? As parents, are you growing, or it's just your children that grow? Let's go. Family culture. What habits, rituals, and values shape your home? Do you have a clear value? Do you have clear values for everyone that everyone knows? Do you have values like, okay, self-discipline? In my house, we are self-disciplined. In my house, we have integrity. We don't tell lies. In my house, like I always tell my children, we don't complain. We solve problems. You cannot say, I did not know where it is, so, or this thing, I kept this in here every time. You are complaining. We don't complain because the goal is to get what you want. The goal is to get something done. So complaining does not get things done. So what you do, you solve problems. We are not victims, you know, because every situation is part of your story. Every situation is for you to learn from. So you are a victim when a situation puts you down and you just relax and you start crying and whining. You are not a victim, you know. So do you have clear family values? As a family, do you have values? Do your children know these values? Do you say things like, in my family, in our family, we are the Orebos. The Orebos don't do this. The Orebos are bold. The Orebos shine their light. The Orebos have self-discipline. Now, it is not just about saying it. So remember, you are going to put it in practice every single day. Every single day. Like I told them in the Visionary Parent Academy, we team our year. My team for this year is doing the extra, going the extra. This morning I was still reminding my children, it means pushing yourself, doing the extra. It means wearing your thinking cap. It means thinking outside the box, doing the extra. Because where everybody is equally qualified, it is that extra that will stand you out. And because we are Christians, our Bible anchor is the story of Matthew 25, the story of the virgins. Because the 5 wise virgins took extra oil, they were able to go in with the bridegroom. While the ones who were also qualified, who were choosing among the lots, because they were coming from a place. So among the lot, only 10 of them were chosen. Out of that 10, 5 were qualified, the other 5 were qualified. So even though the entire 10 were qualified, 5 were extra qualified. So what is that extra? So when I tell them, every day of your life, you have to do the extra. So the extra simply means that there's something you have been doing before where you have stopped. So you are now going to do the extra to move away from where you were before, to move to a new level. So if you are still with me, I see some people here, what you want to do. So please just drop a like, a love, or anything for this video. Let me know you are here. Leave a comment if you have a question. Do where to leave a comment. Let me see that someone is here with me, and let me see that someone is here with us, and I greatly appreciate that. Okay, let's go. So that is it. So whenever I have to talk to them, I remember you are doing the extra. Remember the extra you have to do. So don't leave things as a mediocre. Go the extra and do the extra. Okay, so we are talking about habits. I talked about values, rituals that shape your home. Do you have weekly ritual? I just mentioned them, like news. I said my weekly rituals. On Friday we have news day. On Saturdays we have what is it called, research days. While on Sunday we have our family bond, our family fun time day. And on Saturday mornings we have our own talk time. Is a visionary parent activity that we do where we gather our children together. We talk to them about anything at all. We give them opportunity to talk, to interact. We teach them real life, and we have a resource we usually use for that. And we are going to continue this year by the grace of God. Do we protect our home from negative influences? Do we teach our children responsibility, consistency, discipline with love? Are our home a place of laughter, warmth, and belonging? So after, if you are a Visionary Parent Academy, you have this material. Now you have your overall score. When you score yourself, you are going to now add it up. You know, if your emotional atmosphere is okay, you add it up. If your physical environment is okay, you add all of them up, and at the end of the day, you interpret it. You know, you interpret it. When you interpret it, you are going to see from 1 to 175, from 100 to 175. It means you have a strong, nurturing home. You are building a powerful, intentional family culture. Maintain your readings and strengthen the areas that you know that okay, is weak, so that it doesn't get weaker. Then if you are between 70 to 99, you know that you are growing, but you are not very consistent, if that's your score. If you are below 70, then you know that you are overwhelmed. You have a disconnected environment, and what you need to do is to go back to the drawing board. What you need to do is to begin to get resources. What you need to do is to run to the Visionary Parents Academy. Share your questions there, and let's help you put a connected family together. That's number 1 of the 22 what is it called, of the 22 audits we have. The next one is parenting with a vision audit. Parenting with a vision audit. Number 1 is, do you have clarity? Do you have clarity? Do you have a picture of the kind of adults you want your children to become? Have you ever sat down to imagine your children, the kind of children you want your children to become, the kind of adults you want them to become? Do you take your time to listen to what is happening around? You know, I hear people say, call some parents, mama pastor, mama pastor. I will just smile and ask myself, is it Pastor Chris Okafor that is in scandal now, or pastor someone you can really trust? It's not like I'm praying for them, you know, but we know the truth that we have very many pastors, and some of them are not really pastors. So have you ever sat down to ask yourself, what kind of child is my child, or adult my child is going to become? What kind of adult is my child going to become? Is it the one where they talk about crime? Is it the one where they talk about It's not only about, oh, your child being criminal or being anything. Let's look at other issues. We just heard the story of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, the passing of one of her twins, because of a doctor's negligence. Just imagine that. So that doctor now may not have been a yahoo, may not have been a ritualist or anything. But what is that doctor? His negligence has caused pain to another person. So which simply means that we need to work on our children's attitude. Like I told my teenagers in church on Sunday, you will not become careful, you will not become committed, you will not become responsible because you have a position. Oh, when I get there now. You will not become when I get there, when I grow up. No. You will not become that because you have gotten there, because you have grown up. Except, of course, you now become super intentional. You're now going to unlearn and relearn, which will now take a lot of work. People go for therapies. People go for counseling. People go for character reform. A lot of work from you. So if you have, since you have the time and space now, you start learning all these things small. By the time you grow, you've learnt them. They will come easy and naturally. So, do you have a clear picture of the adult you desire your child to be? When we talk about vision, having a clear picture is not about just career. Oh, my child is going to be a doctor. Oh, my child is going to be a musician. My child is going to be a scientist. What will they do with that thing? What they do with it, how they do with it, matters actually more than what they do. Because a musician can actually impact more than a doctor. Yes, a musician can make more impact than a doctor. Even we've seen a lot of cases where people who don't even have what we call professional careers, they end up serving humanity more than people who have all those big name careers. So what is your child? What adult do you see in your child? We are going to have a class on vision, hopefully. Have I written or defined my family vision? Do you have a defined family vision? We have that in the Visionary Parents Academy. You are going to get a material, my family constitution. Your family vision is there. You're also going to get another material, my family vision guide. Your family vision is there. My family constitution does not teach you how to create your vision, but my family vision guide teaches you how to create your family vision. In fact, every time I talk about that, I tell myself, I also need to go back to the drawing book when it comes to recreating, because there are some things you need to be doing and following up consistently to walk the path that leads to your vision. My daily decisions, do they reflect the future I desire? This is it. Your daily decision as a parent, do they actually reflect the vision you have of your child, of your family? Do they? That's a question for you. How do you communicate your family vision to your child? Your child, your vision, does it shape how you correct your children? Now, number 2 is alignment with values. Your family, does it have a clear defined values that everyone knows? Do your children see you model these values? Your home, your routines and structures, do they reflect your values? Your discipline, is it value based? Do you choose people, activities and values based on what everybody is doing, or you actually choose them to reflect your value? Let me share something with you. I remember one time, because I always tell my children, we have rules. So there are certain television channels they don't watch. I remember one time when it was still all about DSTV. Then we had friends over. So the older child wanted to watch a particular channel, which was not a channel we watch. And my son told him, no, we don't watch it. And the boy was insisting. My son said, we cannot watch this channel because it's against our family rules. The boy was insisting, and because the boy is much older than my son with about 3 years, he was trying to bully, and my son came to report to me. And I would have said, oh, because they are visitors now, leave them. Maybe after now they will go. They are not spending the whole day here. They will just stay here. Maybe after 2-3 hours, they will go. But I realized something. No, if there are values, those values are not randomly chosen. Those values are actually chosen because they align with my vision. So I cannot for any reason compromise on them. So no. So if you come to my house now, even if you are an adult, you come to my house, the only reason you watch certain channels, if my kids are in school, they are not at home, you can watch some channels you want to watch. But once my kids are back, whether they are watching television with you or they are not watching television with you, there are certain movies you do not watch, certain things you do not watch. That is it. So goals and structures. Do you set monthly or yearly goals for your parenting? You know, your children, do they have age appropriate goals? One of the things I said in the Visionary Parent Academy the other time was that it's a new year. As you are setting your goals, your children must have their goals. They must have their goals. As you set your goals every week, they have their goals. As you set your goals every month, they have their goals. In fact, I said in the Visionary Parent Academy, everyone should have at least 3 goals. You have your 3 goals, your children have their 3 goals, and every day you walk towards your goals. You talk about it. When your children get back, you know, at the end of the month, you are talking about, okay, what did you do today that took you closer to your goals? What did your children, what you ask your children what they also did that really took them closer to their goals? So you talk about goals. You have common conversations about goals. Okay. Daily intentionality. Do you make intentional decisions every day, or you are just, it's crisis, you live on crisis? What very many parents do every day is about living on crisis. What I mean by that is, you wait for something to happen, then you start being overly dramatic and reacting all over the place. That is what very many parents do. You are not proactive, because being proactive helps you to be intentional. Being proactive helps you to be intentional, because you are planning down. You know, okay, what to do. I expect this to happen, and when this happens, I will do this. But what we do is, we don't think. We are not proactive. We don't plan ahead. Rather, we just wait for things to happen. When I get to the bridge, I cross it. It is where we are always chaotic. In the mornings, go to school, we are fighting. In the afternoons, everything we are fighting. Now, this is one of the things the family constitution takes care of in the Visionary Parent Academy. It helps you to be proactive and not reactive. So if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, I want to tell you something for free. You are missing a lot. You are going to get a whole lot from this academy. It's not just what I'm saying. I'm going to learn how to market so that I'll be able to sell to you. Because academy is a place that is loaded. We have a lot of resources, and I always say to parents that if you take action, you are going to get a lot of transformation in your home. Okay, we have I just talked about emotional reaction. How do you have time for your children despite your busyness? You know, are you conscious about character, or you are just controlling? Wait for something to happen and you are just controlling. Okay, so what about you as a parent? Are you committed to your parenting growth? Are you committed to your growth generally? Do you take classes? Do you improve your parenting? You know, do you unlearn parenting habits that have been passed over to us over the years? Do you deliberately say, oh no, this thing is not really right, so, or you just want to argue? I always say to people, there are different reasons why people argue. Some argue to win. Some argue to dominate. Some argue to reduce you, to demoralize you. You know, when you are supposed to argue, either to teach or to learn, that is it. You argue to teach or to learn. But for very many people, when it comes to arguments, they want to win. Even what they are saying doesn't make sense. They want to win the argument. Some want to dominate. Some want to just demoralize you. They want to tell you, go away, what do you know? You know, those are the people, at the end of the day, they will start gaslighting. Even when they realize what they are saying doesn't make sense, they begin to gaslight. Okay, so do you also unlearn some parenting habit that didn't serve you and start learning the ones that will serve you? Do you do that as a parent? Do you update your parenting knowledge? Do you even listen to your child to get feedback, or you just feel, oh, you are all perfect, what does he know? I was talking to a parent recently. She was talking about a child. So I was not trying to talk to her. She said, no, that is not the issue. I know this child. The child is this. She kept labeling the child. Now, meanwhile, the child has come up to this parent to tell this parent what happened. But this parent, instead of the parent to even take the child and investigate, the parent did not take the child to investigate. Instead, she labeled the child and she was running with how she had labeled the child. I'm the one telling you, okay, this is what is wrong with me. You are the one saying this is not what is wrong with you, that this is what is wrong with you. And that you are assuming, you are running with it. At the end of the day, you are going to come back and say, what have I not done? I have done everything. This child is not just impossible. Like I've heard parents said, were you sent to me from the pit of hell? No, your child was not sent to you from the pit of hell. In fact, you were the one sent to your child from the pit of hell. You were the one sent to your child from the pit of hell. You know? Okay, sorry. So let's go. How consistent are you in your parenting? Do you follow up? Consistency is another major topic of its own. Now, it is this consistency that inspired our activity of the pillar, of the jar. If you're in the Visionary Parent Academy, you know that I said this year we are all going to have a jar. The jar is to trace your consistency. If you have not been consistent on a particular value, or you have not been consistent enough in a particular area, then you may not get the results you want. Now, when you don't get the results you want, you don't blame the child, because your inconsistency has been, what is it called, confusing the child. When you are inconsistent, you are confusing the child. So if the child doesn't meet their expectations, don't blame the child because you have not been consistent. So to check your consistency is why we have the jar exercise. So after this, you're also going to get your clarity, your value, structure, intentionality, future preparation, learning consistency, and all of that. All this also, you are going to get them, and you are also going to create score yourself. When you finish scoring yourself, you know exactly where you have issues, where you are struggling, and you go about it. Time. The next activity we have here is time. VPA, the Visionary Parent Time Audit. Every parent, you need to audit your time to see how much time you actually spend with your children, because time is not just how much time you spend with your children. What overwhelms you? What takes your time? Are you using your time productively? Because when it comes to parenting, time is love. So you have a time sheet here to help you track your time. We're also going to talk about time audit completely. Then after the time, we have pressure. One of the reasons why we are very reactive, one of the reasons why we are not intentional, one of the reasons why we are not calm is because we are always pressured. Very many times we react, we see life as an emergency. We respond to events as if everything is an emergency. Now. We are always running late. It's an emergency. I need to do it now. So that puts us under intense pressure. Time is running out. There is not much time. It puts us under intense pressure. So one of the things you want to do is to sit back and audit your pressure. How pressured are you? Because pressure makes you reactive. Pressure makes you impatient. Pressure makes you forget. Pressure makes you shout. Pressure makes you break routines. Pressure keeps you stuck in survival mode. I was telling my teenagers in church on Sunday how the human brain is wired. So I told them that the human brain is wired to always see the negative. Now, this is why someone can do 101 good things for you. When they now do one negative thing, that is what you hold on to for a very long time. So I now to drive my point home, I now gave them this message. I now gave them this illustration. I said, your mom is leaving the house. Your mom tells you, sweep, clean, cook, do everything. Your mom comes back and everything is done. However, the only thing that is not done is maybe as you were cooking and cleaning, you spilled water and you did not dry it. You went to sit down. So when your mom comes, that water you did not dry, the way she will take that matter and magnify it, you will now be wondering, all the other things I did, you did not notice them to tell me thank you or well done. But that small water that I poured on the floor is not the issue now, because the human brain is wired to pick negativity. And one of the catalysts of that is pressure, because we are constantly pressured. So we have pressure audits here that will help us check how much pressure we are. Pressure weighs your mind. Pressure makes you anxious. Pressure makes you feel inadequate. Pressure makes you feel like you are failing. Pressure makes parenting harder than it should be. So we have even 4 types of pressure. We have the internal pressure, we have the external pressure, we have the environmental pressure, we have the emotional pressure. So you have this material in your Visionary Parents. We have it already in the Visionary Parents Academy. We also have it in the resource vault. So what you want to do is to go there, take this material, look at it one by one, all week. Take your time to look at it and begin to audit yourself. Fill your pressure audit sheet. What is pressuring me right now? Who is pressuring me? What responsibilities are overwhelming me? What tasks drain me emotionally? What situations trigger me the most? What expectations are unrealistic? What fears control? What are the fears controlling my decisions? What do I constantly worry about? You need to go and audit your pressure, the things that are pressuring you. When you are able to audit your pressure, you are now going to sit back, and if it's internal pressure, you overthink things, you feel guilty easily, you push yourself too hard, you feel like you are failing, you can't rest without feeling lazy. These are some of the things that will now put pressure on you. If external pressure, people expect too much from you, you can't say no. This is a big one that very many people, they can't say no even when it's not convenient for them. You feel controlled by family expectations. You feel judged. People will say, what will people say? You feel you like carrying everyone's problems. When people when you are an empath, you can relate to this. I used to be an empath. It's something I literally am struggling. No, it's not a plus. It's not a plus to be an empath. It's not a plus, really. You want to carry, you easily, and people's issues easily bother you, and you not even want to carry it on your head. Environmental pressure. Is your home always chaotic? Maybe you have a spouse that is always giving you a lot of headache, or you have kids, or your environment. You live in an environment where people are always quarreling. You have a neighbor who, you just have an environment that is so chaotic. Your routines are scattered. You don't have help. You are always overwhelmed with housework. Your finances are stressed. Emotional pressure. You feel emotionally tired. You feel overwhelmed. You feel unappreciated. You carry so much pain from your past. Your children's behavior may trigger you. These are pressure you need to look at. And as you look at the pressure, what you're also going to do is there. So if you're a Visionary Parents Academy, you already have this material you are going to look at. You are going to create your list, your stop list, your delegate list, your reduce list, your boundary list, your replacement list, your new pressure proofing parenting reading. You are going to create all of that to help you. The 5th one is your connection audit. How much relationship have you built with your child? How much emotional relationship do you have? Relational relationship do you have? Communication, how do you communicate? Physical connection with your child, spiritual connection, time and attention connection, discipline connection, and what overall score. You also need to score yourself. Then you go further to consistency audit. I have said this is a very big one that we need to sit down and look at it again. Consistency. How consistent are you? Do you have routines? Are you consistent? Do you have discipline system? Are you consistent? Are you emotionally consistent? Your parenting intentionally, are you consistently parenting with intentionally? Connection, are you consistent in your connection, or your love is transactional? When they do well, you love them. When they don't do well, you don't love them. Personal growth, are you consistently growing in your growing personally? This is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, one of the things I said this year is that we are going to commit to personal growth. We are going to grow personally, and for that we have created a material that will help you gain clarity. In fact, if you are not in this academy, I want to literally beg you to come and join, because what you are going to gain from this academy this year, you have never gained it before. Okay, let's go. Your home culture, how consistent it is. Then you're also going to grade yourself and know where you are slacking, so that you can do better. Modeling, are you always talking, expecting and doing the opposite? Are you modeling what you want to see? You also want to audit that. How much modeling you put in place, what your children see, how you do that. Resilience, one of the skills we need in parenting is resilience. Not quitting, not giving up. We're making threats, we are smacking, labeling, all of that because we have given up. How resilient you are in your parenting. You also want to check that out, take that audit test and audit yourself. Patience, wow, this is a major one. How patient are you? You can't parent without being patient. For that child you call stubborn, you need patience. For that child you say is a slow learner, you need patience. For that child who talks back is a patient. For that child you say is lazy is a patient. You need patience. For that you need patience in every aspect of your parenting. So if you have not patiently taught, you have not patiently reinforced, you have not patiently not created the atmosphere that nurtures what you want to see, you really do not have any right to be reactive. So patience audit. You also want to sit back and audit your patience in your parenting to find out how patient you are in your parenting. Emotional intelligence audit. How emotionally intelligent you are when it comes to parenting. You still have this audit to take in using these resources. Understanding your child audit. How well do you understand your child? Yes, the parent was telling me about the second child. She was saying, oh, my second child is always this. And I told her there is something they call birth order. And apart from that, there's something called temperament. A lot of factors. Every human being is not the same. I know people say, oh, every human being is not the same. When we say every human being is not the same, it simply means that I'm a woman in my church. Last Sunday, not on Sunday, I think it was on Friday, we went to church in the evening. The son should be about 4, not 3, maybe 4, 5. The boy was crying. The boy said he was crying, he wanted gala. So the woman, I think she did not mind the boy. So once someone came and offered the boy gala, to buy gala for the boy. So the woman asked the boy to follow. The boy went and came with zobo. The one was saying, you want zobo? You wanted gala, you took zobo. The boy now said he wanted gala. So the sister, a bit older, maybe 7, maybe 7 or 8, opened the zobo for him and drank from it. And the boy was saying he wasn't going to drink the zobo again. It was another chaos. Meanwhile, the one was already yelling because they were wearing white shirts. Was already yelling that they should not stain that shirt, because if you stain that shirt, your own is going to be finished. So was already yelling. So the whole place was just chaotic, and we were still struggling to listen to the pastor and all that chaos. So I was telling myself that this boy is not hungry. He did not ask for gala because he was hungry. He went outside and bought zobo, not because he was hungry. Probably because, there were other children about his age. Some were just playing about, some sat calmly while he was just complaining. I said, I don't know if he's okay health-wise, but something that I know for sure is that boy was bored. And if he's not a child that can take that place on his own, he probably just wants them to leave the church. He was bored, he was overstimulated, he was tired. He wanted to leave the church, maybe go outside and play with his siblings, or go home. He was bored, he was overstimulated. No, he took a mother that understood the child, or it takes a person that understands the child to be able to say, okay, What my child needs is not gala, it's not zobo, it's not anything. It's because at the end of the day, I later saw him, he drank the zobo halfway. I don't know what happened now. He was crying because at some point I had to move from that seat to another seat because the drama there was just almost like, why are you in church? Maybe they were in church because it was said that as a worker in church, if you are not in church, you are going to be punished for it. So maybe that was why she came to church, because for me, I really did not see any reason, because I knew if I ask her what happened in church, she would not be able to say anything because the whole thing was chaotic, was overwhelming for her child, you know. So it would take a mom who understands their child to know that, okay, this child, he's not really bored, he's not really hungry, he's just bored or he's overstimulated. Maybe we should take a break from inside the church, we should go outside to take in fresh air. I will allow them. Other children were playing, you know, some children were outside without their parents, but this child may not be a child who feels safe to explore without the parents. There are children like that don't easily warm up. So because he doesn't easily warm up, he wants to play, but he wants his mom to be around where he's playing. So he's not able to play inside the church because he's already overstimulated. The noise and everything were already too much for him. So what would have probably worked was they would have left the church, gone outside the church, you know, the mom would be there. Remember I said he was overstimulated. Secondly, he may be a child that does not easily warm up. So he will be outside playing, the mom will be there. And if you ask me, that really would have been better because inside the church, the mom was not getting value. The boy's drama was already distracting her. So just a break probably would have worked better. So this is why we have understanding your child audit in this series. Understanding your child audit. It will also help you understand your child. So if you're in the Visionary Parents Academy, you will definitely have received this audit by now. Please take your time and go through it. Understanding self-audit. As a parent, you also need to understand yourself, where you are coming from. I remember one time a parent was talking to me about, for the longest time, she was not very confident with her husband and her daughter. Not that her husband had ever done anything that would make her suspect the husband would go ahead to do anything to her daughter, but she was not just, somehow she just had this anxiety attack each time her daughter was left alone with the husband. It was later she was able to trace it back and realize that when she was much younger, she had an uncle that molested her, you know, something she had pushed back. That was what was affecting her relationship with her husband, and she married a very responsible man, you know. So what am I trying to say? As a parent, you also need to understand yourself. You also need to understand your temperament, because as a phlegmatic parent, you are likely going to always look at your children's face, always care beyond care, to the extent that you can indulge them, except you are super intentional. As a sanguine, is even worse for you. It's even worse for you because you want to be loved. You want everyone to love you. You are going to go to the extent of even pleasing your children, indulging them, just because you want to be loved. Now, as a choleric, you can become a terrorist in your own home because you are not tolerant. And as a melancholic, that you can become like my dad, you know, always complaining about everything. Like we read there was a poem I read in my secondary school, My Last Duchess. I don't ever forget. Anyways, I was a lover of literature. Yes, I was a lover of literature. You know, I started writing when I was in my secondary school, writing storybooks and all of that, plays and all of that. So I was a lover of literature. So I can remember very many of the poems we read back then. So I remember My Last Duchess. I don't remember the author. This is My Last Duchess, painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I don't remember. From Pandorf's hand painted heavily, something a day. No, he now said something like, her gaze went everywhere, which simply meant that I remember that particular poem. Maybe what I don't remember was because that poem, I argued with my lecturer. We had an argument about that poem because I read it, I had my own understanding. But he read it, he was trying to force his understanding on me. I said, no, sir, this is not what this poem is talking about. Not my lecturer, my teacher, when I was in SS3. Ask me wetin I know when I dey follow teacher dey argue that time. Anyways, the man was not like, the wife's gaze went everywhere. So she used to see everything, and everything made her smile. So she was not queenly, she was not firm, she was just smiling every time, you know. So her gaze went everywhere. So I always like to liken that to my dad. My dad was like, you know, melancholy. If you are melancholy, you know what that means. It means that things easily annoy you, and you are someone that naturally notices things. They have this natural ability to pay attention to details. It is why you always see them, they excel academically. Melancholics excel academically. They are the ones that you see them as good spellers. They spell well, except maybe they have a genetic issue. You know, maybe they are in their family, they struggle academically. Otherwise, they are the ones that they spell well. They read quickly. Why? You know, why other children will see beat as BE, they'll throw the A away and say BET. They will easily just, they have this, is it mirror brain, they call them magic brain. You know, so if you have a child that is melancholic, you just know that one thing for you to know is that it's easy for them to sing MS spelling. It comes almost easy for them. So because they are that attention to details they have, they quickly see everything. They notice things. Another thing about them is that things get to them, they're easily irritated. So, and because the human brain is wired for negativity, put all of them together, they easily notice things, they easily notice the negative ones, they are easily irritated, they are also expressive. They are more expressive than phlegmatics, so they are easily going to express themselves. So if you are a parent, you are melancholic, you realize that when you are always complaining about your children, it may not actually be a fault of theirs, it may actually be you. Because you are melancholic, things they vex you, things they irritate you. So you quickly pick things and you start being angry at them and being so you need to sit back and understand you yourself as a parent. Sometimes we realize that we had our own expectations when we were growing up. We're not able to, our goals that we did not achieve, we want our children, want to like project them on our children. If you have not done your self audit, you may not even realize you are doing that. You may not realize the fears you have that are sabotaging you, because sometimes we have certain fears and things come in the way, and when we see that fears, we project them. We don't realize it. When you do your self audit, you are going to realize a lot of things. Who am I outside parenting? You know, what parts of my identity feel strong? What parts what part feel neglected or forgotten? What identity do I want to grow into? So you also need to do your own self-audit to understand yourself, so that you can raise your children well with clarity. The next one is digital and media audit. Digital and media audit. You need to audit that in your home before you conclude that, oh, your child is addicted. You want to audit your media and digital home. Communication audit. Yes, I see this a lot. Communication audit, you need to also audit that. How do you communicate? What are your rules? How do you communicate in your home? Audit it. You don't like my children will say, they attend a Catholic school. They will say they are supposed to be strong on discipline. So they will say, my teacher said, you don't say shut up, you don't say get out. But when the children are misbehaving, a teacher will just angrily say, will you shut up? Will you get out? Will you get out of my sight? You know, you need to audit. Is it an acceptable language? Even though you say, oh no, you don't want it. Or I've seen this situation where parents will say, children are always yelling. Okay, let me explain. Let me use this particular one. One time I was making my hair in the salon. Now 2 shops away from my salon, a salon, the same building, you know, shop, one shop. The other shop, the small girl was was insulting the elder sister. The small girl should be like, was she up to 12? Maybe she was like 9. And the other sister was like 15 or 14 then. I don't remember precisely. She was insulting her, calling her, you know, really, really like calling her all sorts of manners of names, really insulting. And I called the girl like, what is wrong with you? Your elder sister. So that was how the people then now said, that was what, I just started asking, that was what the mom does. As they now said, Not that they wanted to tell me that's what the mom does. They were just saying that she don't mind the elder sister. She doesn't respect herself. Even her mom self, her mom was there, and it's her mom's voice you hear more than that, because her mom is always shouting at her and insulting her because the girl doesn't respect herself. I said, this is it. You know, this is it. This is where the younger girl, even when the mom now came, I was not telling the mom that I was here when your younger daughter was insulting the younger elder sister. She now said, don't mind her. Me, I've talked to her several times. I've beaten her. I've even told the sister to beat her very well. Each time she opens her mouth to insult the sister should beat her very well. And I told her, and this was the same thing I heard too. You are the one that is also insulting your eldest daughter, calling her useless, calling her names, calling her empty head, calling her all sorts and manners of names. What do you expect? The younger ones are watching. They are learning. So you are telling them that this is the right way to communicate. And so they are learning that you are complaining. What right have you to complain? You have no right to complain. Because the way you treat her is the way they have learned to treat her. So now this is why you have communication rules in your home. And you as a parent, of course, when you get a family constitution, you are going to hear me say that you are subject to it. Discipline and boundary audit. You are also going to audit your boundary and discipline. You are also going to health and wellness audit. You are going to audit your health and your wellness. Your marriage audit, because you need to be on the same page with your spouse, and also you need to have a healthy marriage to model healthy values to your children. Value and morality audit. Academic and learning support audit. Family, finance and responsibility audit. Home safety and protection audit. Spiritual growth audit. Now these are the 22 areas of your parenting you are going to audit. As a parent, as a visionary parent, you are going to sit down and audit your parenting. So before you make any expectations, you must do your audit. And lucky for you, lucky for me, as a visionary parent, we have this material. It is going to be super easy for us, and every other material I mentioned in the course of this class, you are going to get them free in the Visionary Parent Academy. You are not paying for it. But if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, you want this material, it's okay. You can reach out for just a token. You will get all this material. But frankly speaking, I will encourage you. We are not even saying you should pay everything. No, just make a commitment. When you make a commitment, you are allowed to stay in the Visionary Parent Academy, and you pay up from now till the end of March. Pay up, because if you want to say, okay, let me gather the whole money before I pay, you would have missed everything. You will still get the material. You'll be added to the resource bank. You will get everything. But some of the conversations we'll be having, you will miss them. Even though you can see ask questions, you can see take us back and all of that, but you really miss some of the conversations. So what you want to do is just to make a commitment. Someone asked me yesterday, can she join and pay by the end of the month? And I said no really, but you can make a commitment. You cannot join until the end of the month you pay, because we don't have the strength to start pursuing you. And I really do not like removing parents from the academy. Oh, you said no. If you are a parent that you have joined previously, we have your track record, we have been able to you've been able to earn our trust, why not? You can join, and by the end of the month you make you pay up. But for a totally new parent, no, so what you can do is to make a commitment. It's 84,000 naira for the registration. You can decide, okay, I can pay 30,000 naira this month, I can pay 20,000 naira this month. So next month how much is the program? Okay, it is 84,000 naira ma. But you can make a commitment now. I was just saying that you can make a commitment now, and you can spread the remaining one from now till the end of the first quarter of the month, which is March. And you are going to stay till December, when we wrap up for the year. Is a whole year. You pay one off, and we have a lot of activities that we are going to do. What we do in the Visionary Parent Academy, every month we carry out a challenge. that will help you grow, because we just don't believe in teaching and talking. We believe in doing it practically. For example, we have a 30 days becoming an emotionally intelligent parent challenge. Every single day you will get an activity that will get you closer to become an emotionally intelligent parent. So if we are talking about nurturing healthy self-esteem in your children, every day you get an activity you carry out to help you nurture healthy self-esteem in your children. We believe in talking and doing. Another thing we do is we carry our children along. Now this is where we have what we call my family talk time. I hold my own every Saturdays with my children, and we always have materials we use. We have resources, and this year is not going to be an exception. We're also going to have resources you get every Friday evening, so that by that Friday evening, you take 10 minutes, you go through the resource. After going through the resource, you just create your notes and all of that. On Saturday, that's for me. Saturday, you can decide to have it on Friday evening with your children. During the weekend, when you are not pressured, you are not running for time. And after the resource, in the resource, you always have challenge, 1 week long challenge. For example, if you are talking about raising self-confident children, if our resource for that week is about confidence in your children, for the entire week, they are going to have one activity they do every day. You check on how to become self-confident. So when I tell you that the Visionary Parent Academy is a very robust academy, I am not saying it because I'm the lead coach, because we have 3 other coaches, that's plus me 4, we have 4 coaches. I'm not saying it because I'm the lead coach, no. I'm saying it that because if I wasn't a coach in that academy, I tell you something, I would have registered in the Visionary Parent Academy. It is very robust. It is very robust, and I tell you for free, it's not by making mouths. It is very, very robust. You are going to get a lot, and if you are committed to it, there is no way your parenting will not transform. The parenting will not transform. One of the things we want to do, one of the things we are doing this year is we are going to commit to our self-growth, and we have created a material for that. You start by clarity, understanding yourself, your strength. One time a parent was reaching out to me. She was so excited. A parent I know one-on-one. She was so excited about the course she just took. She paid, how much did she pay for that course? I think it's over 200K. I don't remember precisely. And it was a course of pay now. I'm just opening this course for 3 days, pay now. And she, luckily for her, she had some money. She just quickly paid for the course. When she was talking about what she has learned from the course, I sat there literally, I was looking at her. I was telling myself, this is the information, the knowledge you get for free when you join the Visionary Parent Academy. And you paid extra more, you pay so much for all this that you get, that we don't even attach value to them in the Visionary Parent Academy. We don't attach value to them. There are things we know, things that just come with our course, things that we just learn in the process of growing our parenting, and you paid so much for it. The money you paid for it, we don't even pay half of the money in the academy for 1 whole year, and you paid that money and you got that knowledge for how many days was it? Was it 6 weeks? 6 weeks or 3 weeks program? I said, wow, So I want to encourage you. The Visionary Parent Academy, someone said, and the program will last for 1 year, right? Yes, it's for 1 year, for 1 whole year, from now till December. Maybe mid-December, that's when we will wrap up for the day. Usually mid-December, we wrap up for the year, So I said, this is what you will learn. I have seen parents in the Visionary Parent Academy grow. When I say grow, I mean literally grow. I've seen parents take the bold step to do business, because one of the things I say to parents is that we always want our children to succeed. How do we model success to them? Even me, I have my own plan this year. I told myself that I am going to leave my comfort zone. I am going to jump out of my comfort zone. I want to model success to my children in a way that they are going to look back and be proud of me. One time my daughter was asked to write an essay in her school about her role model, and she wrote Ben Carson. She wrote Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She did not write me. I didn't feel bad, because have I modeled so much growth to her that she can, because she's not about, right, my mom is my role model. She'll write it in order maybe to make me happy, or she writes it because she doesn't know better. She knows better. Because I have taught her, she knows better. She knows what a role model is, and she knows what her vision is. She knows the kind of life she wants for herself. So when she chose Ngozi Chimamanda Adichie, so when we're talking about it another time, she was just talking about her role model. She now mentions me, and she mentioned the capacity. I am her role model. Now she mentioned the capacity. Ngozi Chimamanda Adichie is her role model. She mentioned the capacity. Ben Carson is her role model. She now mentioned the capacity, the area. I am her role model. You understand me? So in myself, it was a challenge to me. I knew I needed to do more so that I can be role model to her in more areas. That when we talk about, okay, who is your spiritual role model? She can actually look, probably, and look at me. When it comes to success in career, who is your role model? She can actually look and say, okay, my mom, and she will have valid reasons. When you say, okay, who is your role model in marriage? She can actually look and say, okay, my mom, and it will be real reasons. She's not just saying my mom because of any other thing. So I realized, and when maybe my sons, they want to get married, they can say, okay, they're not looking for their mother, but their mother had lived a kind of example to them that kind of put an idea in their head what a wife should look like, or who a wife should look like, who a mother should look like. So I also want to grow so much, and in the Visionary Parent Academy this year, we want to grow. That was how we created that material. So when the woman was talking about on and on about what she's learning, I was just looking at her like, are you kidding me? So one of the things I said with them last year is, why I'm repeating these things, because the parents said this thing challenged her and has literally put her on her toes ever since then. I told them we always want our children to come first in school, in everything. Look at yourself as a parent. Look at what you do, your ministry. If you put people around you in that same people around you in your ministry, are you first? If you are not first, what right do you have to demand first from your child? And she said it has really challenged her. And when I actually look at that, I really ask myself, yes, if I want my children to be top in their class, am I top in what I am doing? So what right do I have to pressure them when I can't even pressure myself to be top in what I'm doing? So one of the things we are going to do this year is to deliberately grow. We have already prepared our resources for it. However, we are not going to pressure ourselves. We are taking our time to audit our parenting. After we audit our parenting, we move to the next phase. From next phase to next phase to next phase, and then we grow in our parenting. So if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, I really want to encourage you to join. You are going to learn how to parent better. You are also going to learn how to grow. One of the finest testimonies I've gotten so far from the Visionary Parent Academy was a parent who has joined us for a very long time. She joins us every single year. In fact, every year I celebrate her on Facebook, because I will just sit at home and the next thing I'll just get a call. You have a gift, or during December, I will get gifts. Chicken. This year, what I got, I just remember, and I've not posted it. I should go and share it. One of the finest testimonies I've gotten was when she told me that she used to argue with her husband. She used to be angry with her husband a lot of the time, But when she joined the academy, she just realized that she didn't even have all those things. They were no longer, all those things, not because her husband changed, but because she had probably a realization. She now saw herself. She grew. When she grew, she just learned to do better. The same thing. And we've had a lot of, maybe we should share our testimonies more on Facebook. That is what I should do. We should share our testimonies more on Facebook. It will help people trust us and come to us. So as a parent, in the Visionary Parent Academy, you will grow your children will grow. You will just be happier, more confident, and more fulfilled in your parenting. So I want to encourage you, if you have not joined the Visionary Parent Academy, just come and join. As long as we can trust you to pay up, to register, to complete your registration by March ending, which is the last month of the first quarter of this year, you can make your commitments. The fee is 84,000 naira. You can pay 20,000 naira. You can pay, no, you can pay 30,000 naira, so that next month you pay. A parent reached out the other time and she said, not before the class even opened, she said please, she didn't have all of the money, she had 10,000 naira. My first impulse was to tell her no. I just felt, well, this is not all about money really, it's also about making impact. So that register, she registered, and by the third day she has paid. At the end of the week, she completed her money. This was a parent that told me that please, it's the end of the quarter she will pay. So by the end of the, so I guess she put her heart to it, and because of that she prioritized it, and then she was able to just pay up, and register. So I want to encourage you, join the Visionary Parents Academy. It's an academy that will really transform you, that will help you change your mindset and help you parent with clarity and help you grow. My name is Enime Orebo, and this was brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. Thank you so very much. If you have any questions, do want to ask here. If you don't want to ask here, you can always send me a private message and I will answer you. And if I realize that it's a message that I cannot answer immediately, that is something that we need to create and work on it properly, you have to come for consultation. We do one-on-one consultation. And we do one-on-one consultation, we do a customized plan for your family. So we take one-on-one consultation, we take group consultation. If you want to have a consult session with you and your spouse, feel free. We do one-on-one consultation, we do group consultation. We can come to your school and actually teach your parents during PTA. Open tea parties, you can come to your school and teach your parents during tea parties. We can come to your school and train your teachers also. So we do a lot. We also have the Self-Leadership Academy we run every holiday, where we also mentor your young children, your preteens and your teens. We just mentor them and they learn to behave better. So feel free to send a message and ask how you can be part of us, and we will be happy to welcome you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.